Thank you, Madam Chairman. Secretary, it's good to have you here. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your service. And next of all, let me, on behalf of the great people of West Virginia and my entire state, our deepest sympathy to the families and of the children and of the teachers who were lost in Uvalde in a horrible tragedy. Along those lines, school safety has been a major topic of late, of what we could have done, what we can do, and what we should do, especially following that tragic shooting in Uvalde. In March 2018, President Trump appointed then Secretary DeVos to lead a federal commission on school safety. That commission found that while there's no universal school safety plan that will work for every school across the country, the federal government does and can play a role in enhancing school safety. So in your budget, the department asked for $129 million to address school safety, national activities, $23 million increase. That includes $24.7 million for new grants under Project Prevent, and just $2 million for a proposed national clearinghouse on school infrastructure sustainability to help with technical assistance on school facility construction and improvement, which we might maybe recommend you might want to evaluate that and look at that if that's enough to do the job. Issues such as self-locking doors, armed security guards, active shooter training for teachers and students, bulletproof windows, and other training have all been discussed as ways to help students improve the student safety. So my question would be on the finding of the 2018 school safety report was an active shooter preparedness and mitigation. I know the department has undertaken a review of the report and was wondering what the status of that review is or has been, or where you are in evaluating that and if it's been implemented.
Yeah, you know, we thank you for that, Senator. We take the responsibility to support the safety of our schools, our students, and our staff. It's the highest priority. You know, as a father, I can tell you there's nothing more important to me than the safety of my children, their peers and their teachers when they're in school. Our administration is reviewing the report, the Federal Commission on School Safety report issued by former Secretary DeVos. And as I said before, you know, in the budget, we do ask for funds that can assist. You mentioned Project Prevent. $25 million there for projects to support community school-based strategies that help prevent community violence. There's also funding for mental health grants, $55 million for school-based mental health grants. You know, this is going to be something that's going to be ongoing. And while the money is important, I think it's really important that the department take lead on providing technical assistance.
Sorry to interrupt you. Do you have any, do you all monitoring that to find out how many schools or school districts are participating in this actively? Yeah. And because this started back in 2013 with the Sandy Hook shootings, we did a bill at that time, which is a background check, but we had school safety in that background, the Manchin bill. And that school safety, basically we found out that we should harden all first floor schools, you know, with their windows and doors and bulletproof and lockdown and single entry. I don't know how much of that was followed through and schools that took advantage of it or not.
I can definitely have more information provided to your office. Happy to follow up with you.
If there's any way we can monitor this a little bit. And also, you have the tool of holding some of your federal funds if they're not. And it's so important. They got to do everything humanly possible. It's awful to look back and say, well, we should have done this or could have done that. And I would hope you all would look at that seriously about using the one tool you have, which is the money that goes to them if they're not going to use it to protect our children. Back in 1997, a young student from Fayette County, West Virginia, was killed by his teacher. That same teacher had previously taught at a school in Pennsylvania, but was dismissed following the string of allegations involving sexual misconduct with students. That teacher somehow received a positive recommendation just to get rid of that teacher from that school district and shoved him down to our school district, which has some horrific naming for this. And we don't want to go into that, talking about teachers and all the things they've said. But to allow this to happen, we have 130 teachers and teachers' aides have reportedly been arrested for sex-related crimes. So Senator Toomey and I, again, introduced a bill that's been put into law. So why are states that are not complying with the law still receiving any funding?
Yeah. We take the safety, as I said earlier, the safety of students very seriously. We published a report that was developed in the last administration, and we're setting up communication with districts, with states, and we're gonna have higher level of accountability and reporting on what is being done, and holding them accountable for complying with the report.
How does that teacher's record get transferred? So if if in Indiana, Senator Braun's school district is basically going to hire a person that was in West Virginia and didn't know that that person had been let go in West Virginia for violation to their students, sex, whatever it may have been, and they think they're hiring them with a good recommendation.
Yeah.
How does that get in the system?
We're going to strengthen the system to make sure that states are complying with the recommendations of the report and the expectations of the report. And again, it just goes back to making sure we're holding states accountable for following the law.
And my final question, I know my time's run out, the Upward Bound program. The only thing I would say on that, it's been such a wonderful program, helped so many kids in my state of West Virginia. But it didn't come out until the week before deadline. It just didn't give us enough time to do the job. So if you could, sir, anything you can do on the Upward Bound program, it's a tremendous program.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manchin.